Hi everyone, this is Aaron from HH Watch Reviews. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will take a look at the IXDAO 39mm diver in titanium. I purchased this watch along with their 5303 homage from the IXDAO official store on Aliexpress, and full disclosure, I was given an extra discount for it. With the current Aliexpress sale, this watch is just around $220 US. There are 4 variations available. There is a black dial with a matte finish and fully graduated bezel, a black dial with a sunburst effect with markings till the 15 minutes mark, and then you have the same configuration but with a blue dial and bezel. If you're interested in purchasing this watch, I will leave an affiliate link in the description down below. I don't always remember to mention it in my videos, but I always specify if a link is an affiliate link or not. So if you do use one of my affiliate links and purchase a watch, I will get a small commission for it. And for those who are subscribed to Loom Pip's channel, he did a great job explaining how much we get from those affiliate links. I'm going to be honest, I've gotten a lot less than him so far. But anyways, let's get back to the review. While I was thinking about this review and how I was going to share my thoughts about this watch with you, I kept bouncing between should I recommend this watch or should I not? And I think I finally figured it out. But first, let's go over the measurements and specifications of the watch. We have a diameter measured at the bezel of 39.5 millimeters, a lug-to-lug distance of 46.7 millimeters, a thickness of 11.5 millimeters, and a lug width of 21 millimeters. We have a screw-down crown that measures around 6.9 millimeters, and that gives the watch 200 meters of water resistance. The watch size for my 7-inch wrist weighs in at 106 grams, and just the watch head itself is around 55 grams, and one link is 2 grams. Now the movement inside this watch is the PT 5000. It has no date. It has 25 joules, 38 hours of power reserve, beats at 28,800 beats per hour, and it hacks and hand winds. We have a sapphire crystal with AR coating, a coin edge bezel with a slight slope to it, and it has a fully loomed ceramic bezel insert. The case and bracelet are all made out of grade 2 titanium. Now, why wasn't I sure about recommending this watch? Well, it's simply because each thing that I like about this watch has something wrong about it. So let's go over those things. When the new 39mm Tudor PelaG was released, I, like many others, was a bit disappointed with the 21mm lug width. Since I've never actually had hands-on with that watch, my opinion about the 21mm lug width didn't change until I received this watch. Looking at this watch straight on, the extra 1mm gives this watch a more robust, toolish look in my opinion. Like, it has broad shoulders and looks more stable in a way. The bracelet also feels more integrated for some reason. Most of my sub 40mm watches have 20mm lugs, but now I think I like that broader 21mm lug width better. Here it is next to another 39mm watch with 20mm lug width. Let me know if you agree with me about the proportions, and if you disagree, you could also leave a comment and let me know. So, I like the 21mm lugs, but what's the issue? Well, it's right here. You see that corner? It's very pointy and sharp. You don't want to get poked with this. Even the inside edges of the lugs are sharp, but if you wear it on the bracelet, the end links will actually cover that area, so you won't notice it that much. Next on the list of things I like is the bezel. This is a coin edge bezel design. I like that it's slightly sloped. The bezel is slightly bigger than the case, so you can easily hold the bezel and get a good grip. There's a slight grainy feel to the bezel when turning, almost like if there was a bit of sand stuck under the bezel, or as if 2 pieces of titanium are rubbing against each other. It was worse the first few times I turned the bezel, but it seems it's getting better the more I use it. But it's definitely still there. I posted a photo of the watch on my Instagram account, and some people messaged me asking if the action of the bezel is better than the one on the Tactical Frog. Unfortunately, I've never handled that watch, so I can't really compare, but what I can say is that it is better than some of my Seiko 5 bezels. so it's not great, but I've seen a lot worse. It's also louder than my Seiko SBB 143, so hopefully this gives you a good idea of how this bezel performs. Now, I chose this variation of the watch for two reasons, and one of them being the bezel insert. I was so happy to see that IXDAO put a fully graduated bezel on this. One of the best things about the Tudor FXD is the bezel insert, and what's even better is that it is fully loomed. I will share a loom shot soon. Now obviously there had to be something wrong with this bezel, right? I mean, I like the design, the finishing is done well, it's easy to grip, the bezel insert looks amazing, and it is fully loomed. So what's wrong with it? Do you see it? Here, let me zoom in a little bit. Do you see it now? What about now? Yep, that's it. There is a mark missing to the left of the triangle. First, I thought maybe it's just my watch. But then I noticed that it's like that on the official photos from IXDAO, and some photos I saw from other people who've had the watch already. Here's a side-by-side with the Tudor FXD. Once you see it, it's hard to ignore. It's such a shame because that is the only thing wrong with the design of the bezel. The second reason I went for this variant is the matte finishing of the dial. It's a nice clean dial with some text on it. At the 12 o'clock, we have the IXDAO text with a flower-like logo on top and the text timeless underneath it. Then we have Milli Diver and the water resistance printed at the 6 o'clock with the words self-winding printed in a smiley face, just like the Tudor watches that had that. I don't mind the text because it's printed pretty small and I can barely make out what's written when looking at the watch. I like the logo they went for here. It's definitely better than just having IXDAO printed. Also, the smiley face looks cool. The hands are very well finished and they all have the appropriate length. The markers are nicely applied. It's just a block of BGW9 loom without any borders or outline. Here's the loom shot you've all been waiting for. So what do I hate about the dial? Well, not much, other than they could get rid of the word timeless and just leave the brand name and logo at the 12 o'clock. Also, I want to mention that this is the second time I'm handling a watch with a PT5000 movement. The first one being the Proxima PX1697. I don't remember ever hearing the rotor turning on that Proxima, but here on this watch, it is very audible. I don't know if it's because the case is made out of titanium and that blocks the rotor noise less, or it's just something that Proxima did to hide the noise. Let me know in the comments if you have a watch with a PT5000 movement and if you can hear the rotor turn. Now looking at the case, we have a fully brushed look. The brushing is done well on my watch and the finishing is very consistent everywhere on the case. There is a chamfered edge on each lug and it is also brushed. Looking at the back, it is a fairly straightforward case back with some text on it mentioning some key features of the watch. Overall, it's a nice case, but unfortunately, there are some sharp edges here too. The bottom edge of the case on this side is fine, but on the crown side, I find it a bit sharp. And while we're looking at this side of the watch, we have the 6.9mm crown with the same flower type logo on it. It's very easy to grip and it's a good size. The issue with it is that when unscrewing or screwing back in, it's very rough. Just like the bezel, it feels like there's sand inside or like the titanium is rubbing against more titanium, I guess. So it's not a very good feeling. The winding of the movement is smooth. It's just when screwing or unscrewing the crown that it's not very smooth. Then there's also the finishing. As you can see here, it's a little bit darker than the case, and I think that's because there's no actual finishing to this crown. There's no polishing, there's no brushing anywhere. So I think that makes it a little bit darker compared to the case. But overall, I like the crown, it's a good size. I just don't like the way it's not very smooth. I did notice once again, just like the bezel, that it's gotten a little bit smoother with use, but it's not great. Then there's the case back. The teeth, or whatever this is called, is pretty sharp. I hadn't noticed this before because, like I mentioned, I've been wearing the watch on a nylon strap. But I put the watch back on the bracelet for this review, and right away I noticed how sharp it was. I don't have a perfect fit with this bracelet. The watch sits a bit loose, so when the watch moves around on my wrist, I can feel the sharp teeth on the case back. This takes me to my last point. So the bracelet starts at 21 millimeters and tapers down to 16 millimeters. Once again, that 1 extra millimeter is noticeable on the wrist, and the taper on the bracelet looks even more pronounced. I had to measure it twice to make sure it wasn't tapering down to 15 millimeters. The finishing of the bracelet is done in the same fashion as the case. It is completely brushed from the top to the sides, all the way down to the clasp. Everything is brushed, and that makes me very happy because it gives this watch a very nice toolish look. The links are held with screws, and I had to remove 2 links to fit the bracelet for my 7-inch wrist. The clasp is simple and it has 2 pushers on the sides to open it. What's disappointing is the 3 micro adjustment holes. First, I think IXDAO should have added on-the-fly micro adjustments. But since they didn't, they should have at least given us 4 holes for adjusting the bracelet. As is, with 2 links removed and the bracelet set to the shortest position, the watch sits loose on my wrist. If I remove another link, set it to the last hole, it's too tight. Hence why I've been wearing this watch on a nylon strap. Oh, and also there are sharp edges on this bracelet too. So now that I've gone over the things I like and the things wrong with this watch, do I even like it or not? Would I recommend it or not? Well, let's answer the first question. Yes, despite all the issues I've mentioned, I really like this watch. When I see a new watch release, the first thing I do is look at photos and then decide if it's a watch I like or not. I base that decision solely on the looks and design of a watch. That's exactly why I like this one. I love the fully brushed construction with the matte dial and bezel. I love the fully graduated bezel and the lume. Surprisingly, I really like the 21mm lug width. But that's just my personal taste, and you might not feel the same. So, do I recommend this watch? Well, if you like the look of the watch and you can get it for a discount, then I think you should definitely go for it. If you're trying to decide between the 4 or 5 different PelaGs that are available in the market, then maybe you should check out the other ones before pulling the trigger. Or at least watch a bunch of YouTube videos before purchasing one. As for myself, I think I have the best one in my collection already, and this one is a great companion to that one. And that wraps up my review of the IXDAO 39mm titanium diver. So what do you guys think of this watch? Anyone planning on grabbing one during the sale? Let me know in the comments below. As usual, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with a friend or two. And if you want to see more watch content, please subscribe to the channel and click on that notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next one.